Hi everyone and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Reputation Rebuild at Aberdeen with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we reached the end of December in the second season. Things are going pretty well, but today might be quite a significant day. We play Hibernian, who currently sit directly behind us, and we have the potential to open up a really, really big gap. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Let's get going. So welcome back to Aberdeen. Yes, we could do something pretty special today. Straight into the league table. If you can see, we're in third place currently, but we've only played 14 matches. And directly behind us are Hibernian, our opponents today, who have already played 17 and they're 3 points behind. If we can beat them today and put them 6 points behind with 3 games in hand, that opens a huge gap potentially between us in third position and everybody below us, who are all on pretty much 16 or 17 games. The two above us, Celtic in second place, are on exactly the same amount of games played, and they're only a point clear of us at the moment. And Rangers, who are sitting in first place, have played an extra game than us and currently sit 3 points ahead of us. So you can see that we are holding our own this time round in the division. You can see that we've taken away a lot of those draws that we were having last season. We had 11 draws in the league last season, and that really scuppered us. This time round, we have lost a few, but pretty much mostly against the bigger guys. That's not actually true, is it? We haven't really played Celtic that much so far. We lost to Rangers, Hibs and Motherwell earlier in the season, so time to get our own back on Hibs. But ultimately, for now, for this part of the season, it's about hanging on to the coattails of Rangers and Celtic for as long as is possible and seeing what we can do later in the season. So it's all going pretty well, and I'll just go in and let you see how well it has been going in the most recent games that we've played. So in looking back at the recent games, you can see that we had a big block here where we were losing quite regularly. Now, some of that was in the Euro Cup against the likes of Marseille and Villarreal, so not so much of a major surprise there. But the thing that's you'll see, if you look at this goal scoring list at the top here, when we played Hamilton in September, you'll see that Kevin Nisbet got a goal then, and then he went on a really barren run right the way through till we played St Johnstone recently at the back end of November. Now, the simple fact was he didn't go on a barren run at all. He got injured and was out for quite a lot of it. And Liam Delap came in and did reasonably well here and there, but still not quite as potent as Nisbet. And then Nisbet has come back. And since he's come back, you can see the change in form a little bit. In the last month or so of fixtures, we've done pretty well. We won the last game in our Euro against Zoya, and then actually lost the last one against Marseille. We did go out in that competition, but we are in some Euro Cup 2 or something. So we've still got more games to play in European competition, but I can't say that that interests me particularly at this point. I'm all about trying to better ourselves in the Scottish Premiership as much as is possible. The last couple of fixtures, 2-2-1 wins against Dundee United and Hamilton respectively, where Nisbet both got on the score sheet, was great. We now have our game against Hibernian, which will take us into the January transfer window, which will be fantastic. See if we can do something. Might not, but it could happen depending on whether we sell anybody. Just at the moment, the club finances are okay overall, but in terms of transfer budget and wage budget, not particularly great. But yeah, for today, it's kind of important, isn't it? We've seen the table. You can see what it means. If we can take those 3 points of Hibs, then actually it leads us into quite a good gap between us and fourth position. So let's see how we get on. So the only personnel issue we've got today really is that Shay Logan's out for a little bit. He's only got about another day left. He's been out for a few days so far, so he can't make it for today's match. So Ramsey will play in his position at right fullback. Other than that, everybody else is pretty much there. You can see that Vertonen's lacking a little bit in conditioning, so we'll only use him if we have to today. He's on the bench. And the other one, of course, is Liam Delap, who's got a little bit of a fitness issue, but can still do 75 minutes for us today. And we put him on the bench as well. So good support in the background just in case we need it. We have made a couple of little changes because of the likes of Vertonen going out of the side, but mostly it's pretty much who we would want it to be. So for today's match against Hibs, we have Lewis in goal, Ramsey at right back, Demir at left back, Simpson and Considine in central defence, McCrory, Ferguson and Campbell in central midfield, Hedges on the right, Middleton on the left and Nisbet up top, and a bench of Devlin, Hayes, McGeoch, Vertonen, McLennan, Ross and Delap. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So this time round, I have actually pumped my fists in the team talk and told them that we should avenge what happened to us in the previous match against Hibs. They did beat us earlier in the season. It is time to get our own back. We need to get these points, if at all possible, really, and open up that gap. Now, of course, we're at home, which helps us. We should be performing at our highest level. The crowd are a little bit sparse, it must be said. So I'm a little bit disappointed by that we're not selling out for these types of matches, unfortunately. But maybe that's just par for the course in the Scottish Premiership. But yeah, other than that, I think ultimately we should be pushing and seeing if we can get these 3 points. Now, early on, 20 minutes in, nothing to show in terms of highlights yet, but we have had a couple of shots at goal and the possession stats are pretty good in our favour. But the time again is ticking. Didn't we have a game like this recently? Was it on this or Truro? I can't remember. Where the first half, literally nothing happened. And we're going to get that again. Half time already, absolutely no highlights. 4 shots at goal, 2 on target, 3 and 2 for them. XG ratings of 0.4 for us and 0.19 for them. So we are leading in pretty much all of the stats. We just haven't got a goal for it yet. And it's about time we need to. So let's push them up a little bit into the attacking. We're just going to do that and see in the early part of the second half if we can unlock them. I think we'll go and point the finger and say I'm not happy with the performance so far because they are capable of better. And do I want to change anything else? I don't think I do just at the moment. I think we'll give them the first sort of 15, 20 minutes of the second half just to see if they can get going properly. So we'll go straight back out and then go into the shouts and fire them up for the second half. See if in the first 10, 15 minutes we can unlock something. Throw in down the right-hand side. At least it's a highlight. Almost lost the ball then, but we got it straight back. McCrory on the ball, drops it over to Demir on this left-hand side. He gets a little bit of time, but drops it back to Considine, working the ball very nicely in the vertical tiki-taka. It's been a little bit horizontal so far. We haven't quite been as penetrative as I'd like us to be. But there was a chance for a cross and they blocked it and then cleared it very well. And they held the ball up, but they lose out to McCrory. But again, we go too long too quickly and they win the ball. But seemingly, they don't want it either and they give it straight back. It's a bit scrappy. Can we finally eke out a good chance? Middleton in the box and he gets it. Oh, the second attempt was there. And Nisbet on pretty much the third attempt at goal eventually pokes it home. Middleton gets a crossed opportunity and it gets blocked and sent back out to him. He has then a second shot at goal there and it hits the woodwork, comes back out and eventually it falls to Nisbet in the 6-yard box. Open goal, really. Goalkeeper was out of position and he slots it home for 1-0 for us. That's a good goal to get, although it was very scrappy after a very prolonged period of play, which was really scrappy. I don't mind so much, though, when it goes in our favour, ultimately. Another really poor throw-in. We saw one over on the right-hand side. This one was over on the left-hand side. Demir, this time, gives the ball away. And again, we eventually win it back in the defensive unit. When Hibs went too long, a cross into Nisbet has to go slightly wide of goal, and then he's pushed over. Is that a penalty? It's not. They clear the ball, but McCrory hoovers it up in midfield, and again we get going down the right-hand side, Again, we don't quite find that killer ball, but we still maintain possession. Nisbet with a really good header on, and Middleton runs in from that left-hand side into the box in a supporting role of Nisbet, who won that header brilliantly well, and eventually Middleton gets to slot it past the goalkeeper into the far corner. Lovely cushioned header, gets it out from his feet and whips that ball at the goal with his left foot, and we go 2-0 up. And I think this is going to be one of those good performance type of days. So far, so good. We've got 20 minutes left. We're going to pause the game and just make a couple of changes just to make sure that we can secure this. We've got an injury to Hedges on the right-hand side, so we're going to have to take him out, and McLennan will have to come into play. Demir on that left-hand side has got a yellow card. He's playing quite well, but I can't risk a red card for anyone. So Hayes, our number one fullback from last season, will come in and play the remainder of the game. Then we've got to really change one of these central midfield three, haven't we? Really? Because that's not fantastic. 6.7 average rating for each of them. Not quite up to standard. So which one are we going to take out? I think what we're going to do is we're going to take out Ferguson and we're going to put McGeoch in instead into that box-to-box midfield role. He can play that and we'll go straight back out. And we won't give any shouts at this point. I don't want to disrupt what's going on. We'll just let them play out for now. Middleton picks up a loose ball, runs at the midfield area. McLennan on the overlap on the right-hand side. And eventually it was a very, very tame effort straight into the dinking shot into the arms of the goalkeeper. We have a chance down the right-hand side again. McLennan drops it back to Ramsey off a throw-in. And that, again, is a fantastic strike, right-footed this time, from Middleton, again, off that left wing. Good work over on the right-hand side off the throw-in. Comes in from Ramsey. McLennan drops it back to Ramsey in just a second. There he goes. Gets the chance to get it out from his feet. Crosses into the penalty spot kind of area. And Middleton drops off of his defender, gets a little bit of space and hooks the shot in, puts a whipped free kick in on that occasion, but Hibs have cleared it pretty well, and they're on the counter-attack, but Hayes is there to just sniff out the danger and get us back on the right track. Now, when it's not your day, it's not your day. And today, for whatever reason, is not Hibernian's day, is it? They were playing about with it at the back. We cleared it long over the top. The Porteous gets a chance to take it back to the goalkeeper. He can't quite control the ball, and Nisbet sneaks in around the goalkeeper and just dinks it past him into the back of an open net then. And at 10 minutes left, we've got a 4-0 lead, and today is one of those fantastic days where everything that we've tried has kind of come off for us. Hibs have had an absolute nightmare. And we do indeed win the game 4-0 and open that gap, a 6-point gap. And we've got a couple of games in hand over them, 3 games in hand. So we are looking absolutely fantastic for a minimum of third. And now we can forget about what's behind us a little bit and begin to think about what's in front of us and try and keep on those coattails, as I say, of Rangers and Celtic for as long as we possibly can. But already this season looks to be much, much better than the last campaign, where I think we ended up with like a 30-point gap between us and Rangers and Celtic. Hopefully it's not going to be that bad this season. That is a really good result. So just before we go into the schedule and figure out what's coming up next episode, this is really worth having a look at. These are the fixtures and the league table after today's fixture list. You can see that Celtic beat Hamilton 3-2. So they now go top of the table, a point clear of us, top of the table on same amount of games played. But Rangers today lost to St Mirren 1-0. And that drops them off that top spot and puts them equal on points with us. And they've played a game extra than we have. We are in a really, really good position at this point. It's just about whether we can sustain it across the season. And the big difference you'll notice in this league table straight away is the goal difference. We are not scoring the goals that we did last season, the amount of goals that we did last season. but we're doing okay in terms of conceding. So if we can find a way to really properly keep this kind of goal scoring prowess up for the next month or so and just get our goal difference up, that's going to absolutely help us potentially if we can stick in and around Rangers and Celtic for the rest of the season. So still loads and loads of games to play and lots of problems to encounter, I'm sure. But just at the moment, it's bye-bye to those behind us and let's see what we can do in front of us. Fantastic so far. Let's go and have a look into the schedule and just see what's coming up over the next month or so. You can see that we're now moving into the January transfer window. As I say, if we go and look at the finances just for a sec, we've got a load in the bank. It's 5.5 million in the bank. It's not too bad, but no transfer budget left and no wage budget left. So we're going to have to see whether we can eke anything out from anywhere to find something to maybe add another central defender in. You'll remember we're working on a slightly smaller squad and I would quite like a bit more defensive cover if I can find it. But anyway, that's for next episode. We'll come back and figure that out. In the meantime, in the January window, we play Motherwell twice, once in the Cup and once in the league. We've got Livingston, Celtic and St Mirren, the recent conquerors of Rangers as well. So a couple of tricky games in there. We're going to come back after the January transfer window, probably straight away into early February, Dunfermline maybe. And I'll update you on anything that might have happened in this January window just to see if we can improve the squad. But even if we don't, I'm happy enough with the balance of the squad. A little bit more depth might do it. But so far, as you can see, it is going phenomenally well. So if we can't do anything, it's not such a big problem. But that's going to basically do it for us today. A really fantastic performance in the end. A 4-goal win against a Hibernian side that really didn't have a good day at all, did they? And we are sitting in a brilliant position. Can't push that home quite enough, I don't think, how good a position this is. Let's see if we can maintain it. Nisbet really doing well on the goal scoring charts. And you saw today Middleton not only is the highest average rating and the assist, he's also getting some goals himself. So he's been fantastic. Anyway, it's going to do it for today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode after a 4-0 win. How could you not? Go on, click that like button for me. That would be great. That will help me get seen by loads of people. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.